Hello everybody, MechaZardXer back at it again to give you another very exciting video. And for today, oh shoot, I was literally at work. My friend over here, Apollo, just hit me up and said, "Hey man, did you see what dropped out on the news today?" And I was like, "What the heck they're talking about?" I was like, "Wait a minute." I checked YouTube, and yes, Nintendo managed to drop another Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And in this showcase for today, they revealed quite a few different games that we actually already knew about, but a little bit more information, a lot more release dates, and it definitely seems like going into 2021, we're having like a very strong third-party presence, kicking off the year for 2021. So at least it seems like we're sort of kind of recuperating from this crazy year that we had from 2020. We had some games that were revealed, such as like Bravely Default 2. We got No More Heroes, and then that big old Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity announcement in terms of a demo that was dropping today, though. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throughout this video, go ahead and give my thoughts and impressions over what I thought about everything that Nintendo has revealed within this video today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this discussion over the newest and latest Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. So in much of the same way as the previous Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, they kicked off the presentation with Bravely Default 2. So they came out swinging out the gates, similar within the last one, how we got all of the Monster Hunter related games at the very beginning of the Direct. So we know within this game, 4 heroes will embark on a great voyage in the beautiful and engaging role-playing game from Square Enix. And in this series, new adventure, players will set off on an epic journey, visiting stunning locations, meeting intriguing new characters, battling dastardly villains, and etc. By defeating enemies called asterisk barriers, the heroes will acquire asterisks, which will allow them to change jobs. Now, the job system is almost kind of, reminiscent of, back in the day with Octopath Traveler, where you're able to have the job systems, and I'll be able to, teach you certain types of moves depending on, what kind of jobs you give to each one of those party members. So by using the right combination of jobs, players can turn the tide of battle in their favor. Some jobs can be acquired, which include, the powerful Vanguard, the White Mage, the Bard, the Beastmaster, and the Gambler, and among many others. Now, the Beastmaster, I did see within this video, reminded me a lot about Octopath Traveler with the girl that was named Hannah, who was the hunter, which, you were going around in that game, you were able to capture certain beasts and then be able to release those beasts out on your enemies or on your foes and be able to use, their power against them. So that was one thing that was really reminiscent of Octopath Traveler that I did see here within Bravely Default 2. So I'm really kind of curious to see, how these different classes will be able to play with multiple different play styles, depending on, the person that's being able to play the game, though. And honestly, a lot of stuff I did see and really liked in Bravely Default 2. There was also a video that Nintendo actually dropped on their channel as well that actually, managed to take all the information that they received from the first demo that they managed to put out, and from there they managed to do some critique, managed to do some changes up in there, change some things with like some difficulties and some more stuff within that video. So make sure check out Nintendo's video on that, though. But honestly, the game is going to be released on February 26th. We do have a concrete release date for that, though, so I'm really looking forward to this. And honestly, that was a great way to be able to kick off this partner showcase, though. Now, some of these other titles I wasn't like a personal fan of, but I'm just going to go ahead and go over the information with y'all, though. So the second thing we had was a story of seasons, the pioneers of Olive Town, and in this game you get to cultivate like a farm from the ground up. Sort of kind of reminds me a little bit of Harvest Moon. You get to chop down trees, discover flora and fauna, raise animals. The game is also releasing on the Switch on March the 23rd, 2021, another 2021 release right there, though. And honestly, if you're a big fan of Animal Crossing, or you really like the Harvest Moon series, or maybe Stardew Valley, any of those kind of laid back, sort of kind of casual games right there, this game might be the one for you. So remember when this game drops out on March 23rd of 2021. The next game we got was Surviving the Aftermath, and within this game you're supposed to thrive and survive in a post-apocalyptic future. Resources are scarce, but opportunity calls. Players can, build the ultimate disaster-proof colony and protect their colonies and restore civilization to their devastated world. So, remember that the world is just beginning. So this game does launch within the spring of 2021. I am loving the fact that within this presentation, there's a lot of games that are within the near, distant future. Because, right now we're roughly, in the month of October at the time of this recording, though. So honestly, you weren't thinking there was going to be too much stuff within the rest of this year though, but it does seem like we're getting a pretty stacked spring of 2021. The next game announcement we got was from Ubisoft called Immortals Fenyx Rising, and in this game you get to play as Phoenix, a new winged demigod, on a quest to save Greek gods and their home from a dark curse, take on mythological beasts, master the legendary powers of the gods, and defeat Typhoon, the deadliest titan in Greek mythology, in an epic fight for the ages. Now this game will launch on the Switch on December 3rd, so not too far away from that Fire Emblem re-release for the United States here within the month of December though. So pretty good, decent game dropping out in the month of December though. Really looks to be that open world kind of game, and it's always good to see more third-party support, especially from Ubisoft and from their titles that they got within their back pocket though. So it's nice to be able to see another game come over to the Switch though. Now this is honestly the most important, but yet where the things really get good for this Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase, because these next two games is something that we've been seeing over there in Japan, but maybe not a lot of people know about it over here within the West. So the next game that they announced was Hitman 3, and it is the first time that the Hitman series has been brought over to the Nintendo Switch and represents the dramatic conclusion of the World Assassination trilogy. Whether players are new to the franchise or familiar with this series, they'll be enjoying a globe-trotting adventure of a sprawling sandbox location as Agent 47 returns for the most important contracts of his entire career. Now, ideally, this game is supposed to be coming out on next-gen consoles such as, Xbox Series X, as well as the PlayStation 5, though. The interesting thing, though, is, honestly, you wouldn't think a next-gen console game would be coming out on the Switch and would just remain on PS5 and Xbox Series X, though. However, for us, though, they're actually dropping a cloud version of this. Now, some people might be thinking, what is cloud version? Well, you got your physical games, you got your digital games, then you have your cloud games that you don't necessarily own, whether it be physical or downloading it straight to your console though, but you're able to stream it to your device, similar to the way how Xbox now has xCloud, where you're able to stream Game Pass games to your mobile phone right here at the moment though. So honestly, the matter of fact that we're finally able to get cloud streaming games is actually really interesting, because over there in Japan, we did manage to get Resident Evil 7 along with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So my motto has always been, some people might be against cloud gaming and the way how the future of the gaming industry might be heading towards though, but if you honestly gave me two choices, whether it be a cloud gaming service in order to play a certain type of game or not have the game at all, I will always take the cloud streaming version as compared to just never being able to experience the game at all though. So that is the super interesting thing about these couple announcements though. The second one that also managed to get a cloud version as well is Control Ultimate Edition, which was the winner of 80 awards. Control is virtually a stunning third-person action adventure that will keep players on the edge of their seat, blending the open-ended environments with the signature world building and storytelling of developer Remedy Entertainment. Control presents an expansive and intensely gratifying gameplay experience. Now, this version of the game, the cloud version, is available on the Nintendo Switch right now. Now, I know some of y'all might be thinking, maybe this ain't sort of kind of the game for you. It was like Game of the Year for what IGN ranked it from last year, though. However, despite what you might think about cloud gaming, or maybe this game isn't, your cup of tea, I would still say try this game out solely for the fact that this is, one of the couple of games that we do now have in the West that are going to be running a cloud version. So that way you can kind of get a feel of, how a cloud version of these kind of games will be able to work on the Switch. So I am going to try that out shortly after I'm done recording this video and actually try it for myself though. But I think that's the two critical takeaways from Hitman 3 as well as, Control Ultimate Edition. Now moving on, we finally have a game that a lot of people have been craving for the longest time, and we get a little bit of surprising announcements within this though. But we do manage to get a brand new trailer for No More Heroes 3, and in this game, players are put in the middle of the action, and the fight between assassins become a battle of galactic scale. Destroy aliens in this Gardens of Madness. when No More Heroes 3 launches exclusively on the Nintendo Switch in 2021. Now, originally it was probably a game that probably would have dropped out this year though, but given COVID and all of the real world situations going on, that's probably the reason why it got pushed out to 2021. However, if you hadn't experienced the series prequels, then that is no problem at all, because they just announced that yes, the first two No More Heroes games, No More Heroes as well as No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, that originally launched on the Wii console, are now available on the Nintendo Switch today. Now that is one interesting thing that I really do like about this whole entire thing. As a matter of fact, that yes, you might be trying to pull in new people within your audience for No More Heroes 3, such as myself, because I do kind of dig some of the gameplay and stuff that they have been showing though. I mean, I still gonna have to do a little bit more of my research though, but the matter of fact, you're putting out the first two games of the series, and from what it seems to be, it seems like the story sort of kind of, keeps, evolving and goes from, one game to the other though. So you are gonna have to do a little bit of research within the first two games to understand where we're gonna currently start at within the third game though. But it's really nice to be able to put those first two games in there to kind of, broaden the appeal, pull people within your franchise, and then going from there, it might get people interested, such as myself, to try out the third game though. They also showcased off a sizzle reel trailer that also showed a lot of different games are coming to the Nintendo Switch here within the nearby distant future, such as that Bakugan game, along with a few other games that honestly didn't really strike a chord with me though, but you know what, if you're a fan of those few games, hey, more games to you right there though. And lastly, we got two more announcements to conclude the rest of this Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. The first one was coming from HAL Laboratories, the developers from the Kirby series. Comes Part-Time UFO, a colorful game in which, players take on the role of adorable and helpful UFOs. From dishing up sweets to fishing and building a castle, the little UFO will perform all sorts of part-time jobs. Players can clear stages by carrying the required object, but more rewards will be, earned by completing 3 specific challenges per stage. And honestly, this is kind of an announcement kind of out of left field from HAL Laboratories. We know them, strongly for that Kirby series though, but every now and then, they like to create, games along the side though. So honestly, this kind of caught me by surprise though. So it's kind of an interesting little thing that actually showcased off near the very end of the presentation. Now to conclude everything up, oh man, you always gotta have that cherry on the top though, and it's none other than Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now we know this game drops within a few weeks, November 20th though, but most of the footage that they show within this thing has been, reused stuff from whether it be from Tokyo Game Show or all of these. They literally been almost dropping a trailer almost every Tuesday, or roughly right around that spot every week. Leading all the way up down to this week though, which we didn't get it on Tuesday, which was kind of like a red flag off in my mind, like, wait a minute, we might have a Nintendo Direct Mini here shortly within the distant future though. But all those thoughts aside though, when they finally got to the new stuff, oh shoot, you're actually able to control the divine beast up in this mug. My jaw just dropped when I saw that. I was like, what the freak? Like, this game looks absolutely crazy though. And then to end it all off, they say, yes, we are releasing a demo and you're going to be able to play up to the first chapter starting today. And any of the stuff that you do within the first chapter of this demo, you're going to be able to carry that save progression over into your full copy of the game once you have it within your hands though. And my gosh, by golly, this game looks absolutely incredible. I'm not even the biggest fan of, the Dynasty Warriors kind of, the Muso kind of, beating up everybody. I'm not generally like a big fan of those, hack and slash beat 'em ups like that though. But the way how they incorporate this with Breath of the Wild, and the matter of fact, Nintendo has their hands on this project as well. It's not just Koei Tecmo, going off the wall with their IP, similar to the first Hyrule Warriors. It's not like that. But the matter of fact that they have a crucial part with this, and the matter of fact that you have all this story related content with it being a prequel game, oh gosh, it's just clicking on so many cylinders though. I'm just hugely excited for this game. I think Koei Tecmo definitely stepped up their game ever since it was Persona 5 Scramble, which was like the most recent collab that they had before this. And gosh, even that game, that stays true to the Persona 5 brand as well though. So honestly, hats off to Koei Tecmo, hats off to Nintendo, because this game looks like, oh, this is gonna be a banger of a game. I can't wait to get my hands on that demo though. So that's basically all I have to say about this Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase though. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, what all did you like within the this presentation, whether it be, you know, Bravely Default 2 or your No More Heroes 3 getting another trailer though, but you got, you know, the first 2 games that dropped out on the Switch today, or maybe it's that big old Hyrule Warriors announcement of the trailer along with that demo, or anything else in between. Y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below though. But honestly, this does conclude, and this is the very last of the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase series. We started this mess off with July, then we had an August one, a September and October. Remember, the July one was the one where we had all of that Shin Megami Tensei announcements, you know, the big Shin Megami Tensei 5 along with the Shin Megami Tensei 3 remaster, which a lot of people kind of felt skeptical about it. If you weren't necessarily a fan of it, then most likely that Direct didn't do anything to you. Then we had the second one, which I would call that one like, you know, the rhythm game series. You know, if you like rhythm games or you like music, that's what that second one was about. We had that Kingdom Hearts, you know, Melody of Memories one. You know, Ubisoft just announced, you know, the next game for what was going to be releasing for this year, along with a lot of different other musical kind of related stuff. That was like the big takeaway from the second one. Then remember with the third one, that was your big old Monster Hunter one, where we got Monster Hunter Rise. We also have Monster Hunter Stories 2, and it had a lot of different other RPGs. Like that was like the RPG plus the Monster Hunter one right there within that last Direct Mini. And then we had this one to conclude it all off on. So honestly, you know what, the Partner Mini Showcase, it started rocky, but it got better as time went on though. So honestly, I've grown to appreciate this series, especially given the fact that, you know, all the crazy stuff that's been happening with COVID and everything else though. But yeah, you know, a good way to be able to end this off, and probably the next, you know, Nintendo Direct, whenever it does happen, probably won't be until maybe the springtime. I said that last time, then COVID happened, but we'll see though. But that's all I got to say within this video though. So if you really like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related that I feel like discussing, y'all. So remember, y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.